Hey, what's happening? Welcome to episode 60 of Buckshot. My immediate apologies for the road sound. I am driving the car, because the only fucking time I could do this intro, because the week has been bananas, the only time I could get to do this intro was I'm just off stage. It's Thursday night, I'm just off stage from the Laughter Lounge. By off stage, literally, I had to come off stage and then say goodbye and then walk over here and then go to the car park and get overpriced car parking in Dublin city centre, and then so it's not literally off stage, you know what I mean. This would be quite a quiet fucking setup otherwise, but you're all very welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for actually tuning in. We got to 60. How great are we, huh? We got to 60. Jesus. And they've now shut down a road that used to be a road. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, this is stressful. Do you know what? I'm going to pull it now and move. Oh, I can't pull a move there. This is great for you. This makes great listening, I have to say. I know. I can feel your pain. You're like, what is this dipshit doing? But they, every so often you'll find in Dublin, they go, nah, we're shutting that road down for that direction. You can find another fucking route, hillbilly. Yeah, but you're all very welcome. It isn't normally this fucking crass. It's not normally this unprofessional. If you listen back to some of the other ones, we're actually pretty professional. But honestly, this week has been bananas, and I'll explain why it's been a kind of a bananas week and why the next couple of days are going to be bananas. So I just wanted to get this out for lunchtime Friday. So I figured, what better way at 10:30 at night, driving home from the Laughter Lounge? May as well try and fit it in now. So I'm going to try and make a right turn here without killing all of us. It's been an interesting way to do a podcast, wouldn't it? Geez, I get some serious listens though. In fairness, it was comedian's last ever podcast, because he wiped out on some, I don't even know what road it is. It's near Abbey Street in Dublin. But yeah, we made it to 60, which is impressive in its own right. For anybody's first time listening, like I said, this is normally a bit better than this. Well, we do have a good guest at least, but the intro is normally short and sweet. Like that, if you're first time listening, hit subscribe in whatever format you're listening to. If it's iTunes and you do end up enjoying it, give it an old share. Give it an old rate. You know what I mean? And by rate, I mean give it 5 stars. Don't bother. It's grand. Do you know what I mean? Okay. I'm not going to lose my temper on the podcast, but fuck me. Another street shut down. So now I'm just getting... Thank God I've got plenty of petrol. Fucking hell. Another street shut down from what used to be. I turn right. They're like, no, hillbilly. Not for you. So... Oh, Lord Jesus. This is fucking delightful. I'm... Okay, so this one now is telling me to turn right. So I'm way up the top. I'm nearly... Christ almighty, I'm nearly in the airport at this stage. Up the top part of the north inner city. I don't know, because you see, I don't normally park in that car park. I normally get parking on the street. That was the problem. Because I'm a miserable bastard. And £8. Like, I'm in there less than 2 hours. Yeah, less, about an hour and 40 minutes I'm in there. £8's a bit steep at night time, isn't it? But it's Irish Life, those the insurance fuckers. It's them. It's their car park, so it does strange. You see in my social media, if you look at it, I had my story today, but I just took because they're all their spaces are, it's owned by the insurance company called Irish Life, and they have all their spaces there reserved for Irish Life, which is quite a strange thing to have relative to what's happening right now, because it's the yes/no vote tomorrow. Everybody for today, as you listen to it, people will be voting. I hope you're voting. You're exerting your right to vote. It's important to vote. I'm not going to tell you how you should or whatever, but it's, let your conscience do the work in the long run. Think about it in the long run. You know, in the overall scheme of things. Again, why am I even getting political with my podcast? I'm not going to tell people how to fucking behave. Do whatever you want. It's your own business. I'm telly jokey man. So, realistically, what am I going to tell you? Okay, I went totally wrong there as per my sat-nav. Great, because I did turn on the sat-nav now. So I'm going to try and rectify this situation. Now we're over by no, it's telling me to turn right where it isn't physically possible to turn right. I think we may end up by the 3 Arena. Suffering sweet Jesus Christ. Oh Lord, stave us and guard us. Like that. Click subscribe if you're enjoying what you're hearing so far. This is the ramblings of a madman. If you ever wondered what it sounds like, this is what it is. This is exactly it. We're on all the usual places that you'll find us, like that. If you need to hit me up on anything, I'm on all the old usual social media formats. So it's Tom O'Mahony Comedy will find me anywhere, really. On old Chatty Snaps, I'm Tom Bear O'Mahony, I think it is. They still won't let me change it. They haven't come back to me about that. About letting me change it. I don't know why. It changed from an old... It just took it from an old and made its own suggestion, I think. On an old email address. And just went, well, this is what we're calling you now. So I was like, alright, okay. Take your fucking time. But it is what it is. It's Tom O'Mahony Comedy for everything else. If you need to correct me at any point, feel free. Absolutely feel free, because this is it's an open forum. I won't listen to you, and it probably will make absolutely no difference to anybody at all. But that's the great thing about podcasting, is just rambling shite. Although this one, in fairness, is good and informative, because it's with a very sound, high-achieving woman, like, you know, so it's kind of, this bit is totally probably ruining the quality of the podcast. What's going on this week, the reason why I'm a bit all over the shop this week and I didn't even get time to sit down, is that we finally got a house. We finally actually got a house. I was telling you about that. We were short-term renting, and we finally got a house, and it's a nice house. In fairness, it is a nice place, and it's quite close to Natasha's work. Like, quite close. It's fucking 8 to 10 minutes. So that's, you couldn't ask for better, really. Like, well, I suppose you could say, I want to be 2 minutes away, but we're not. We're 8 to 10 minutes away. It's perfect, and I can slip into town in like 20 minutes. It's lovely. It's fucking jubbly. Jesus Christ, it's going to be a longer journey home tonight. But yeah, you know yourself, like today now, like the dose because the place was nice, but it hadn't been lived in a while. So I took it. We were taking it upon ourselves. We said, you know what we'll do? We'll get a crowd who know what they're doing. Just give the carpets a bit of a spruce up. You know, now industrial clean. Why not? Absolutely fantastic. Small enough money. Like, they were on Groupon. Everybody, like, I'm getting better at the old group. Well, I'm not. I tell a lie. I do make the suggestion of looking at it, but I don't know my way around Groupon. The good lady, Natasha, she knows all about that kind of stuff, but I remember Dale Cronin trying to explain to me, like, that there's tons of shit, basically, on Groupon. But it all sounds a bit hokey. It always sounds a bit hokey to me, like, they're trying to pull an out fucking move on me. And you know what? Lo and behold, these sons of bitches bought the fucking Groupon voucher. I think it was like 50 or 60 quid to do 3 or 4 rooms in the stairs, just to give the carpets a bit of a spruce up. Do you know what I mean? They weren't filthy, but you know yourself, they were hoovered and all within an inch of their life, but I reckon they could do it and all. Well, fuck, do you think I could get in contact with this crowd? Yeah, they took the money, no bother. Now, I wanted to come in this morning. I've been ringing them since Monday. It's just ringing out. Son of a bitch. Absolute bastards. Email them. Fucking. So. Oh, Jesus, I don't know how I'm going to get to the bottom of that anyway. Because have I lost my 50 quid? Because all of a sudden we tried to email Groupon and there was a problem with your message. Your message was not sent. It's like, oh, ye fucking bastards. So, I think I was right in my suspicions about those hokey bastards at Groupon. Or maybe I don't have the inside track. If anybody wants to give me or anybody knows somebody who works with Groupon, get in contact with me, because I want my money back off these motherfuckers. I'll get somebody else, or I'll clean it myself. I thought it was being flash, getting somebody in to fucking do the thing. And now egg on my face, because I tried to be flash to do something that doesn't suit me. Anyway, yeah, like that. Got 2 dingers of blokes with a van. Alex and Pavel showed up this morning, bang on fucking time, and worked like savages. I asked them if they wanted to drop a tea. We do not stop for tea. I said, no, they weren't, in fairness to the lads, I'm doing them a disservice there now. They weren't Borat. They were just sound lads from Poland who worked like fucking bears. It was quality. Nothing, as one fella, I says, motherfucker in your motherfucking van. We almost had another crash there, but sure, what harm. Yeah, the lads just, in fairness, I like their attitude. I said to him about pulling in at one place, back at the old place, because we were at the storage locker, because you got to keep your shit in a storage locker. But by the way, the lovely people at Storage World in Dublin 8 in Dublin. Dublin 8 in Dublin. Why else would it be anywhere else? If you are using storage lockers, they're sound people. They haven't tried to pull the fucking wool over my eyes, because I always find these motherfuckers, you go to check out, you're like, it's like the hotel. You go to check out, and there's always, I'm just checking there. You know full well you don't owe anything. It's like, yeah. You know that shit when you're checking out, and you're like, yeah, I did not order anything. I paid for my fucking booze or whatever with fucking cash. Thank you very much. Yeah, let me just see there now. Nah, none of that shit with this fella. In fairness, I knew we were bang on the day. We're bang on the day that the new whatchamacallit, the new month was coming over. He didn't know it was a penny. I didn't know a penny. I walked in. The guy knew by my name. I haven't been in there in fucking 2 months. I walked in and he was like, how's it going, Tom? I went, alright, dude. I've forgotten his name. I may be wrong, but I think it might be Ken. I think I called him Ken. Jesus, don't you hate that when somebody... Fucking hell. I don't know, was I talking about it on the podcast last week, but Christ almighty, happened to me at a petrol station last week. A bloke, I knew his face. He was all chats about this thing and that thing, and we knew loads of mutual people, and like an asshole, I left it go 5 minutes. 5 minutes of conversation, which is too long. You can't pull up the handbrake at that point and go, sorry, what's your name again? You can't, sure you can't. Can you? I don't know, because it hasn't happened. Has anybody done that? Hit me a message if you've ever done that. If you've actually had the balls. I don't mean in the minute beforehand where you go, sorry, what's... I'm after forgetting your name. I'm so long, sorry, I'm terrible. You know, that's fine, the opening 30 seconds, 1 minute, but 5 minutes of conversation in. Am I right? You can't do it. Sure you can't. Just social fucking etiquette says you can't. Can you? I genuinely would like to hear, because I've no idea about that part of social etiquette. I'd love to hear if anybody's ever fucking done that. If there's a moment where you can go, listen, I'm going to stop you there, boss. What's your name again? Is there a good way of doing it? Do you know, is there a certain cut-off point, and is there a good way of doing it, is what I'm wondering. Yeah, and it's the same with this guy. But like that, nah. Walked in the door. How are you, Tom? I says, how yeah, boss. And he says, you checking out? I says, I'm checking out. 2 lads coming in a van. Mighty. Give you a couple of hours. I'll have you signed out. That's all hunky-dory. Shook my hand. Off out the door in 15 seconds. Jesus, I like those kind of people. Do you know what I mean? I fucking love that. Where there's no... Yeah, well, there was a day there... and you know what? It's never the person who owns the joint. It's just some fucker who's just working. And sure, they're trying to do their job right and all the rest, but it's like, relax, kid. If there's nothing on the screen, days old or anything like that, just let me off the hook. I'm in a fuck. Do you think you'll want to hang around in a storage fucking unit? But nah, nice fella. So I'm giving him a big up. Ken, if it is Ken, in Storage World in Dublin 8, that's the man. That's the man. And on top of that, he didn't try and fucking do me on a size. He saw the stuff that I was bringing first, and I was thinking I thought I'd squeeze it into a smaller one. To be honest with you, my wallet was telling me, we can get it into a smaller one. Even though it's reasonably priced stuff, but you know what I mean. The old hungry bastard in me was going, not at all, we'll get it in. And he was like, Tom, I'm telling you here now, I'm at this a long time. You're going to need a bigger one than that. A bigger locker than that. And he said, look, I'll do you a deal because it's an odd-shaped locker. How's that? I was like, I fucking love this guy. I love deals. And I'll take an odd-sized locker because, sure, who has normal... No, but not everything in your locker is going to be square. So that's the killer, like. The fucking Christmas trees there, lad. I swear to God. I think I'll just fucking give this one away. It was a pricey enough fucking tree day one, but I'm hauling this bastard of a thing around with me. And I'm going, what? If that was a natural tree, I would have had it chipped by now or fucking burnt it. Do you know what I mean? Instead, instead I'm fucking pricking with this thing, bringing it fucking everywhere. Is there, I know I'm sure there's some sort of bag you can get that this whole thing fits in that I've lost. I mean, do you know what? It actually didn't. It came in a fucking poxy box, even though it cost a fucking fortune. And there was no carrier bag with it. I bet they sell a fucking bag, though. I bet you any money these bastards sell a bag. I know, I shouldn't be going on about Christmas trees. It's fucking May. Relax. Christ almighty. But this has been the dose I've had the last couple of days. Like, it's just moving into the new place and these motherfuckers pulling one. So we had good and we had bad. We had the fucking cleaners being a dose. They take your money, but then you can't grab them. You can't get them. Sons of bitches. But as for Alex and Pavel, 110% the boys were on the fucking money. It was funny because we were bringing stuff into the house or whatever, and they were good and careful with stuff, but the lads were like full of muscles, these lads, and they were carrying everything in quite boisterously. Like, and it got to my barbecue, right, which I put Weber's box went back together perfect, by the way. It didn't fucking fall apart, and I held onto the box. It's one of the few things I've ever held onto the box of, the barbecue brand. his Weber, and I put it back, and it was in the box, and I even, just as we came to that bit in the van, I says, kind of half jokingly, I says, that now, Alex, that's the most important thing in the house. I swear to God, this fella could have picked up 2 of these yokes, even though there's a bit of weight, but like, he was fucking, both of them were just animals, like, just full of muscles. He got the other fella himself. Pavel caught one side of the box, and they actually believed me. Like they were carrying the Holy Grail, and were like, "Oh, I understand." And they brought it in, like they were delivering organs, and I hadn't, you can't, like, they didn't see my joke at all. They actually took me very seriously. As Mr. Bossman says, this is. I was like, okay, I like your style. You don't fuck around. You say, I'll be there at a time. I'll be there at a time. He was only supposed to be one bloke, but he brought a second bloke. It was supposed to only be Alex. Turns up with a second bloke. He goes, I'll not charge you extra money. We just maybe get finished a little sooner. I said, abso-fucking-lutely. Jesus Christ, I like that fucking style. And even when I asked him, would it be alright to swing in back into the old house just to pick up a few bits? Nothing is problem if we can do. I don't see problem. I'm like, yeah, but he's talking about extra fucking money now, isn't he? Nah. I said, oh, yeah, an extra for the stop-off. Dumb. I tell you. It's no problem. If able to do, no problem. Jesus Christ, where can you get these people on a daily basis? You couldn't buy that kind of fucking ingenuity, could you? Deserves to have fucking 10 white vans on the road, the man does, with that kind of fucking attitude. Great attitude. Cyclists. Oh, Jesus, cyclists. Suffered from Jesus. Right, we're back on track. We're heading out along. Lovely. Okay, we should be okay from here now. Traffic in, fuck me, Dublin is someplace for the taxis, that's... Sweet Jesus, I wouldn't do it for love nor money. I'd fucking break rocks in a quarry with a small hammer for the rest of my life before I do taxi driving. I mean, the talking with the nice people you meet is grand, but the fucking doses, the dirty, smelly bastards you'll be dealing with, like. Because there's no doubt, like, I mean, and it's, like, it was 22 degrees down in that car park, and that's at 10:30 at night. Like, it's down now, it's 15.5 degrees. Irish people are not used to this. We're going to be sweating. I'm sweating, just driving. And I can't turn on the aircon because it'll fucking wreck all sorts of sound. I mean, if it's bad enough, the sound of indicators and the sound of fucking the car banging in and out of fucking potholes through the city, the aircon is not good. So I'm fucking roasting here. And it's Irish people. So I can appreciate there'd be a few smelliness going on around the place. Woo! But Jesus, you don't want to be having to deal with it. Imagine into your car. If you're minding your car too, if you're the sort of person who loved your car, you're minding it. The next time some bollocks gets in steaming drunk, fucking shits on himself or pisses on himself. Like, you hear them horror stories, like, you're going, oh Lord. Fucking hell. You earn your money as a taxi driver, I believe. Don't you? It's just, they make good money. Do they good make? I say they make all right. They probably did back in the good days. They were probably making, when the old, the licensing was quite tight. So once upon a time, like, you'd pay fucking astronomical money, like 50 grand or something for maybe I'm just being mad there, but maybe it wasn't that much. But it was, I tell you one thing, it was big money at one time for a taxi license. Then they kind of opened the door and said, drive on. I don't know how that came about, but it was like basically, it went from like, we'll say it went from 50,000 down to 5 grand. That was essentially, but it's great. It's great for the consumer, because once upon a time, and some listeners would be too young to remember this, but like 10, 15, we'll say 2005, we'll say 13 years ago, taxi home, forget about it. Unless you were an hour early out coming out of the nightclub, and even at that, like, taxi ranks were a thing where you would actually you'd go in, there'd be a cranky old lady sitting in behind a glass window. You'd go in, she'd be sitting there smoking fags, and she'd go, where you after? And you'd have to go, fucking the Dublin Road there. And they go, Grant, it'd be about 25 minutes. And then people would just roll, and you just have to sit sobering up in this fucking bleak room, on a city street somewhere, like, and that 25 minutes never happened. It was always an hour. Always an hour. Or, I mean, and that's a fancy version. Like, you see there, like, you would have seen around, even 10 years ago, around College Green in Dublin, where the taxis would pull up, there would be a queue of people on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. There'd be a queue of 100 people at any one time queuing for cabs. None of this flagging shit down, like, we thought fucking New York was miles away. What the? You're going to flag forget about flagging a cab down. These fellas were fucking the gods of the road, because there was only about 20 of them in the whole city. Now it's fantastic. There's fucking thousands of them. But the motherfuckers have the worst fucking driving ethic of all time. They will just cut you up, because I suppose it's money for them. Every minute they're moving, it's money for them. So they will just they have the worst driving fucking... And I know, because I used to... Remember I told you about that thing I used to do, teaching people how to drive Ferraris? I still do that, actually. Every so often, but very rarely now. So yeah, again, not going to have time tomorrow morning. Friday morning, I'm not going to have time. Natasha's off work, dropping her out. She's going to start into just putting away some of the stuff, like all the kitchen shit and all the rest of it. I got to drop a Ferrari to Belfast tomorrow morning, and then, because I want to get this, I'll put this out real early. So, like I said, it's 10 to 11 now at night. I'll get this out nice and fucking early, so you can actually enjoy it nice and early. So, and then I'll have to get a train back down, drop it off that car, and then dig into the house a bit, and then laughter lounge tomorrow night, and then laughter lounge Saturday night, but also Saturday and Sunday. That acting course I was teaching out in Kildare, we're actually doing the filming all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So Jesus, and I need to confirm the guests for next week as well. So all good fucking crack. So if anybody's listening to this on Friday lunchtime, Friday in the mid-afternoon, right up until about 5 o'clock, if you have no plans this evening, I'm in the laughter lounge tonight. I'm in the laughter lounge tomorrow night with the fantastic Richie Bree, lad from Donegal, or from Belfast. He's a great up-and-comer. I think he opens for Danny O'Brien on his tour, and Eric Lawler closing, and Eric Lawler of Fair City fame, and an amazing friend of the podcast. Both lads, Eric has done the podcast as well, and John Cleary, which I need to get back, because the sound in that fucking pub we recorded that one in was dog shit. So I need to get him back for another one, because he is quite literally one of the funniest people on the planet. He's a man, I don't know if I said it on the day, but we driving back from Sligo one time, I had to pull in 4 times because I was laughing that hard I was going to crash if I didn't actually physically pull in. I let my chest actually stop spasming from laughing too hard. So I need to get John back in. He's hosting the show. I'm saying some amount of times, because it's the thing, you're concentrating while talking, and it's not real shit talk, because it's not, well, it is shit talk, but what it is... But you know what, there's no harm in being self-aware either, sure there's not. We all think we say great things, like, but at least that's one handy old thing about comedy. By Jesus Christ, if you're shite, or you're having a shite night, there's no hiding behind that. There's no going, that was some good stuff I did there. You have to just hold your hand up and just go, that was shit. And it kind of does well. It does you well in life, because you can at least pull yourself up by your socks and go, what are you fucking at, you clown? Because I'm not saying you've got to be beating yourself up the whole time, but, give yourself a pat in the back if you can. But the Irish person in you will probably go, nah, you're grand. I was kind of shit there all the time anyway. But the new age of young Irish people, they are patting themselves on the back 24/7. But you kind of, that's a bit unhealthy to lean it that way too. You got to be a bit, I'm a fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? You need a balance, I think. Listen, Psychology 101 with Tom, and how to conduct your life. God almighty. And the fucking week in itself, Jesus, what else fucking went on this week? What else was I doing this week that fucking took up my time? I was gigging on Tuesday night at Camden Comedy Club, and I came out, I swear to God, I'd had a dinner the whole lot, and I used to be bad, like coming home from gigs and you go, fast food straight away, but I've been eating like a bit of a fucking asshole, a bit of a prick, the last couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? The odd old snaky burger when there's no one eating it. I wasn't even hungry. Do you know, just to get... And then I'd let it die. I'd been good all weekend. I'd been fucking good, and you know what I mean? I'd eaten clean and everything. Had like sea bass, I think, on Saturday evening. You know, just good stuff, like. And then, I don't know, Jesus, something happened. Like, I almost relapsed. Like, I genuinely came out of that club on Camden Street, and there's a lot of tasty places on Camden Street. Like, something shot up my nostrils. I don't know what it was, because they have everything from, like, they've got you've got Tibetan food, you've got fucking food from Israeli food, you've got fucking Thai food, like, quite a lot of foods. And I don't know what shot up my nostrils, lads. But it took every fucking ounce of strength that I had, mental strength I had, not to go in and just ask for whatever the Christ was smelling so tasty. Oh my good Jesus Christ, it was fucking delightful. It was absolutely delightful. But I got around it. I've been trying to clean myself up a small bit now, because in fairness, I've been eating like a dickhead. Because you know, you're kind of one leg out the door, one leg in the door on this place. Like, you never properly settle. Like, all our proper cooking shit too is still in fucking storage. You know what I mean? So I never went about it the right way. Like, so you're just kind of, you're fuck acting around with food. You know, I wasn't putting the time in. But I tell you one thing, that's all about the fucking change now that we got the new place. I am going barbecuing like a muffin. Oh, I fucking tell you now, I'm going fucking hard at it. Come Monday now, because this weekend obviously is bollocks with the cooking situation. But I tell you one thing, come Monday, it's all fucking popping off. I'm pulled into the petrol station here. The only mannerly part of the entire drive that I've actually not been almost fucking killing me, I suppose. But you know, we're all a team, and I love every one of you. Well, thanks very much actually as listeners, because especially new listeners, get on board. This is the Tom train. This is good crack, pure horseshite. Like, you'll learn nothing. Well, you'll learn nothing from me. My guests, you will learn stuff from, and that's kind of why I need to hang out with these people. Because, do you know what? It's good to hang out with people that'll fucking teach you something like that. Like, you'd be inspired by today's guest, like Megan. She's 110%. You're never going to meet a sounder woman, like, and like that. She was just caught for time too, because she's busy as hell. And met her up. We got in like 25-30 minutes. I'm not sure what it actually comes out at. But it's great, because I left more meat in the bone for another one, because we straight away, like, we were walking down the stairs from the international, and we're going, Jesus Christ, we need to do more on rugby, because Megan is both an international. She's played both 7s and 15s, and she's gone back to the 15s code now, and she plays for Ireland. We talk a bit about that, how she got into it. She's rugby obsessed, because she comes from a rugby family, the whole lot. She also has her own business on this, starting up as well, and it's going good, like. Which I'll put the links in this to some of the retreats she's talking about. She talks about towards the end. It's a retreat. It sounds class, actually. It sounds like, do you know what I mean? You come away, your brain would be properly back. You know what I mean? A good reset. It sounds like this retreat. Of course, I'm off gigging the same weekend. Probably get my own form of therapy, but it does sound good. But she's got her own fitness, where she talks about and like that. I have a bit of a breakdown with laughing when I realise what her business stands for, the name of it, because her name is Megan. Meg, it's move, energize, glow. Jesus Christ, I almost said groom. Jesus, and I don't mean, yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly along. Again, I'll put all the links to everything in the description of this one. I cannot wait for you to, like, she's just a sound person. We compacted quite a lot into our little short 25 minutes, but there'll be further ones on, because we were even planning walking down the stairs how we're going to do further ones. Hopefully maybe a couple of rugby themed ones, and maybe get in somebody else from the other international setup. I know they're all heading off to Australia and stuff now, but anyway, without further ado, please give it up for the fantastic Megan Williams. Megan, thank you very, very much for popping in. I know you're caught for time. You're a busy woman. How, just for anybody, I mean, I'd heard of you all right, but for anybody who didn't, I mean, you Christ almighty, you're busy. You watch your Instagram. You are busy.
Yeah, busy. With so much going on at the moment. I mean, you're kind of in the trap where if you're not busy, you feel like you're wasting your time. But it's not always the way. I mean, I just have a jam-packed schedule at the moment. Fitting in training, fitting in rugby, fitting in my regular job that I work full-time. And then obviously building up my brand and my business outside of that as well is really a big passion of mine, and it's really important to me that I would like to get kind of going and started with that. So kind of putting myself out there, doing as much as I possibly can. Things that are really important to me, that I'm really passionate about. It's going well.
Brilliant.
I'm fitting in you today, which is brilliant.
And this is the thing, because we were only started following each other on Instagram, and then it was because you are Luke Keeler's brother's girlfriend.
Yes, that's right.
Jesus Christ, you're all athletes like this.
Yeah.
Is there any just lazy bastards hanging around it? You know,
no, they're very much go as well, and that's obviously what drawn me to Tony, my partner, and as well, like Luke's a professional boxer.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, very driven. You know, real high achievers, and I kind of, that's how we all
you gravitate to it. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they're brilliant. Like, so that's where I seen your podcast as well.
Yeah.
And when Luke was on there, and I just thought it was like brilliant that you're, you know, getting into talking to sports and athletes and just different people as well.
Well, there's so many correlations between what I do as stand-up, even the business, and even especially the boxing world, because it's such a strange world. But then athletes as well, because you can, the odd person get lucky. But I try to make analogies in performing arts to sports as much as I can, even though sometimes people can't, because I've seen both sides of the fence, like, and yes, you can get lucky, all right, in certain times, but you get found out fairly quickly, don't you? You know what I mean?
Like 100%, like, and that's kind of where I came from. I started off with 15s, and I'm originally from the UK, and I was brought over on a scholarship with the RFU.
Right.
So I was really lucky to be given a scholarship.
Were you Irish qualified before you?
Yeah, my dad's Irish and my grandparents are Irish.
Right.
And I was actually playing for the Irish Exiles in London at the time.
Yeah.
That was about 5 years ago, nearly 6 years ago, I think, and I was scouted by one of the Irish rugby coaches at the time and asked me to come over, and I did like a trial basis.
Bet your dad was delighted.
Yeah, he was really delighted.
Yeah.
It never was really in the cards for me. I've always been quite, I've always been into rugby. I played for years.
Yeah. And
I've been in and out of kind of higher development camps within, you know, the England development and things like that.
Who was your first club then? Where?
So I came from Welling Garden City, Welling Rugby Club.
Right,
called.
Yeah.
So like a local town at home. My dad's chairman of the club, and my brother played, and I kind of was just brought up in the rugby club.
Mental,
so kind of just, it was just so natural to me when I came and played. And I loved the aggressive side of it.
Yeah. Well, it's totally okay to admit that, because that was what I was going to get to, like, you know, because sometimes you kind of go, you know, because you just explained exactly why. Yeah. Because of course it was second nature. It's like race car drivers.
Yeah.
Chances are, if it was a female, there's somebody in the family who was a race car driver.
Yeah.
Because you rarely just end up in it, unless you're some colossus of a woman who's 6'7" or something, and you get, you know, coerced into. But you were born and bred into rugby, so you almost didn't have a choice, really.
Yeah, it was funny because my older sister, she's 10 years older than me. She's actually like the complete opposite person to me in every single way.
Really?
And she's an artist, and she's really like girly, and then I was the youngest, and like my dad kind of was like, right, come on, get a rugby ball, you're playing,
really?
Like kind of thing, and I just like loved it, and I was really, really active as a child, so I kind of brought that with me, and then I kind of, as I developed and as I got older, as you go into teenage years, I kind of decided to go travelling, and I did a couple of years abroad travelling and kind of played in different countries. So I was really lucky that I went to Canada for a year and played in Toronto for the Toronto Saracens team.
Brilliant.
And then I did America and played in South Carolina, and I did all the sevens kind of trips like Vegas, Hong Kong. So I was really lucky that I did a lot of travelling, and rugby has been such a big part of my life and has taken me all over the world to play in different countries. And I kind of went by myself and just went to different teams and was like, can I come and join your team? And then
that's brilliant.
I kind of grew and developed as a person.
But they must, like, you must be, and you can openly say this, you must be streets ahead and developing wise, especially in, like, say in South Carolina. Like, I mean, even their male rugby is only coming on stream now, but I mean their female, you know, the ladies rugby team, like, you must be ripping it up.
Oh, I know what you mean, though. Like, to be fair, like, in those kind of countries, you'd think that it isn't actually big.
Right.
But you'd be surprised at how much funding and money is actually put into women's rugby in America and Canada.
Really?
And in Australia. They're the three best teams in the world at the moment, like, without a doubt.
Is that kind of like, because their women's soccer team gets an awful lot of funding as well?
It's they do. It's sport, obviously, because they're such big countries. They do get so much more funding and people behind the sport, because it is such a fast growing sport.
Yeah,
like women's rugby, sevens especially, because it's an Olympic sport now.
Oh, the Americans are going to really swing behind that. Yeah,
and the success of 2016 in Rio. Unfortunately, the Irish women's sevens at the time when we were trying to qualify, we just missed out by losing one game. You know, qualifying for the Olympics. So for us, that probably would have changed our whole lives.
Of course,
massively. So that's a goal that it's no longer maybe in reach for me, who knows? I'm not sure at the moment, but still, for the sevens girls who are playing, that's a big goal for them to get into the Olympics 2020. But yeah, I've learned a lot. I'm playing with different players in different countries.
I suppose, broadened your horizons, like. And when who approached you then? So you came over then for when you were essentially poached. You were brought over. Yeah. And what club side did you go to first here then? Obviously in Dublin.
I actually didn't go to a club. I went straight into the Irish women's
program.
You? Yeah, into the development program, and was just played sevens, trained full time. It was 5 days a week, and then it was a small group of girls to begin with, and then we kind of grew, and that's when we qualified for like the likes of the World Series, where that took us around the world and played in those big tournaments. I was with Belvedere.
Yes,
I actually haven't played club rugby for three or 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, I hadn't played 15s. I only just got back into 15s this year when I played in the Six Nations.
What was that like? A bit more confrontational, like, I suppose, but it was.
At the time, I left the sevens program, and for me, I needed to. When you get to a point in your career as an athlete, it's like, okay, I need to have a break.
Yeah.
And I got to that point where I was like, I just need to have a bit of a time off rugby and have a break from it, because it was been so intense for the last 5 years. And then, within a couple of months, I was like scratching, needing to play again, and then that's where I was like, I want to have a shot at the 15s. I trialled, went to all the camps, put my mark down for selection, and I was really lucky that the coach there, Adam Griggs, is the new 15s coach, selected me on the wing. So I was, over the moon. It was brilliant. Such a great experience.
Brilliant. And what's it like going back? Do you know any of the girls on the England's women's team?
So I know pretty much most of the players who are on the circuit, kind of the women's teams. Because you kind of play in and out through clubs, and over the years, you're playing against each other, and it's always the same faces that you see. So you do kind of build up that love-hate relationship.
Of course.
So I would know a lot of them from when I was younger as well, when I played against them or played with them. But no, I have a better connection and better relationships with the girls in the Irish team.
Of course, your sisters in arms, like, when it comes to war, basically, like, because that's what it is. It's war, like, whatever.
100%, like,
especially when it comes to Six Nations,
100%. Like, the best game, nearly probably one of the best games we played in the Six Nations was against England. We did lose, but it's always such a battle. Like, I couldn't walk for 3 days after that game.
Really?
Yeah.
Just banjaxed after.
I was completely cut all over my face. I had war wounds everywhere. It's
weird though, isn't it? I bet you kind of love that shit though, some of it. Like, you know what I mean? You go, bring it on. You don't. You know what I mean?
You do, like.
Because that's it. Like, because it's hard to explain. Like, I've said to people, like, my wife now understands it. Now, after being married to a roughneck like me, but prior to that, she was like, "Why would somebody cauliflower ear? Would you not get it fixed?" It's like, absolutely not. You put work into that ear. You put so many hours into getting that ear, or a missing tooth. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's a few bits, like, I have broken my nose. I think it's come to 8 times now.
Right.
So I've come to, like, right, now I'm like...
It looks in good nick, though.
It's not too bad. It's not the worst. I have had it fixed once.
But at least you'll be lucky now. It's probably a fail-safe where it snaps, rather than actually boxers, getting it smashed.
Exactly. So that's on the cards, to get it probably straightened out again, because I broke it in the Six Nations again, but I haven't had it fixed. So I definitely have to get that.
I suppose maybe given that you're a winger, you're going to need you need your cardio. So maybe getting the nose straightened up. Yes, you could say, well, if you want to call it vanity, you could just say, well, for me, it's actually for my cardio. Because I suppose, that could be the excuse. It's like your man, what's his name? He's married to the Royal. He played for England. What's his name? Oh, he bald-headed fella. He got his nose straightened, and he had the worst nose in English rugby. Like, it was his war. Like, that was his battle nose. Like. And he got it straightened for the royal wedding. And the slating he got.
Stop.
It was just... the poor man just straightened his nose. But it was like, why would you do that? You know?
I think it's definitely different for girls now, especially because, everything is always down to, like...
I suppose.
Yeah, it's quite frustrating. But, I mean, whatever you're kind of comfortable doing on the pitch, like, I'd be well known for wearing my makeup and having my hair done and having ribbons in my hair. So I'd be really girly.
That's a bit of crack, though, as well, like, isn't it? It's funny. Like,
it's
why
funny.
not?
Yeah, like, that's just my personality. That's the way I am, and it kind of
blood pouring out your nose, like, while you have have good makeup.
Exactly. The eyebrows stay on.
I love
the rest
that.
is bleeding. Looks good. Yeah.
Yes, I can't see out of my left eye, but the eyebrows look great. Yeah. That's what I like the idea of doing that, because why not? Like, but it's I think more and more kind of people are. It's not that it was ever a lack, but there was a moment there, especially with the 15s team, and I think there was a proper uprising with especially male rugby fans, because I remember talking with people going, "This is a fucking disgrace," when the whole fallout of the coach situation. But I think they kind of listened to the public small bit. They were going, "This is a scandal. The women's rugby team are as good as the men's, barring that it's just on a smaller, world of it." I mean, the women's rugby team beat the All Blacks before Ireland ever did. The men's team never did. I remember being in, and I think that was a big awakening. I was in Edinburgh doing comedy at the time at the festival. Yeah. And I remember it was like thousands of people surrounded this huge big screen, screaming at the thing, like, and immediately that was the kind of breaking point. It was like,
it was, and I think it was for a lot
women's
of people as well.
Rugby. Like, I was always a proponent. I mean, I trained our women's team in school, and they were unbelievable. Like, but it was the dedication, and there was no difference between the men and the women. Like, it was just, I need to be more of a proponent of this, like, because if the dedication is there, and that was an amazing moment, like, to watch the women's team beating New Zealand.
I know. I think it'll never get old. Like, for the girls who were involved in that, it's absolutely unbelievable. And I think it was a lot of everyone was like, "Oh my god," and then it was a big, like, everyone started getting into women's rugby, like, after that match. Like, it's funny how one match can completely change.
Probably young girls signing up to clubs and stuff as well.
It's big. Like, it's just there needs to be more promotion for younger girls in sports and in rugby, and promoting it and getting girls involved in playing. Like, it doesn't have to be geared to being, it's really, really aggressive, or it's really dangerous, or it's, does this and this. Like, you have to think of all, like, the positive stuffs.
Well, there's I think an awful lot of negativity is put towards aggression. Yeah. Aggression isn't a bad thing.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? It's because you need to have that range of emotions used on a daily basis. And if you can actually go to that place in your head where, I need to access aggression here. Yeah. It's really good for the workplace too. Like, definitely. And if, why should men be allowed to get away with aggression? Women should be allowed to have a bit of aggression too, I think. Like, it's a good place to be.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and I think, it builds character, leadership skills, all these kind of developments that, young girls and young adults need, to fit in, to be in teams, and totally. Develop as a person. And, like, I know that it's completely built my confidence up so much. Yeah. To be able to do things that I never thought that I would be able to do. But that's what sport has done.
Like, even I remember the girls on that team, and the slagging was amazing. Yeah. But it was just as good as the men. Like, I remember thinking, wow, this is but there was shy girls who came out of themselves for being slagged and slagging back and going, but it was just, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Yeah. Do you know, and I personally, I mean, and this is me being biased, it's the greatest sport in the world. Like, it just is. But I think because there's somebody on, there's a position for everybody. From scrum half right up into prop, second rows and all the rest of it. So it's kind of great that it isn't just, on football, you all got to be pretty much the same. Yeah.
There's something for everybody, and that's what's so great about that sport, and that's a big reason why I'm pushing for girls to play and getting more involved in it, and promote that, any shape or size is well able to do a job on the pitch, or if you want to give it a go, then just give it a go. Like, it's really important.
And then your fitness business then on the side, where does that base from then, or where? I mean.
So I'm a qualified personal trainer. Yes. So I've done in and out for the last few years, training clients and doing classes and fitness classes, and, like, my love grew more when we were doing, like, courses, when we were in camps and stuff like that, because you're in a full-time program, but you have to think about the future and what you're going to do next, because rugby's not forever.
Yeah, of course.
And, you never know when's going to be your kind of last game and things like that. So not that we had pressure, but we needed to decide, what do you want to do? Like, and the RFU and the Rugby Players Island program were absolutely brilliant in helping me to decide, what's next, what's for the future, like. That's where my love grew more and more for, like, health and fitness events, promotions, and like fitness blogging, and like I'm a big advocate for social media. Like I love being involved in like the social media stuff and marketing. So yeah, I just kind of developed Move, Energize, Glow. The reason for that name was I was trying to have something catchy that would be
Energize, Glow.
Move, Energize, Glow. That would actually
that's
say,
a great, it's a great vibe. Yeah, yeah.
So if you use the hashtag, it would say MEG. So
brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So when I say it, people get it. Yes.
And I thought I was born with an easy name, Tom O'Mahony, being T-O-M. I thought, okay, MEG, that's brilliant.
Thanks.
Well done, well done. I love, because it's going, I like how that's, and then you explain, it's like, oh, my thick brain just got that. That's great.
So it took me a long time to think of a good catchy name. So, and you can go anywhere with that. It's really into like yoga, hardcore fitness, anything. So that's where my passion lies at the moment. I'm really trying to build my business outside of working full time as well.
It's class though, because I mean, the fitness thing, there's times where I'm looking and it's like, Jesus Christ, I have to see one more inspirational quote. But there is, but at least with yours, you know, there's, you can get a direct idea as to where the hell you're looking at. You know what you're looking at. Because for me, it's for me personally, when I look at something like that, it's like, oh, that doesn't apply to me at all.
Yeah.
Do you know? And it was also friend of the podcast, Aidan O'Mahony. Mm-hmm. You should have a listen back to his one. Oh, okay. He played county football for Kerry. Yeah. And he's just started up AOM Fitness. Mm-hmm. And like that, he's shown, it'd be along the same lines as yours in that it's for your everyday Joe or Josephine won't get freaked out by looking. Because sometimes you look at it, it's like, well, you've 19 abs. How can I ever, you know what I mean?
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
There is people, like everyone to themselves. I think, you know, if that's what you want to promote, that's what you want to do, that's fantastic. But like for me, I use social media as a platform to build the business and to use for a purpose. It's not to, you know, show off or
that's to
show what I have or show what I'm doing or constantly look like I'm doing this and this or whatever. It's to, you know, like I said, for a purpose, is to show,
educate as well. Like really,
I'm trying to, you know, show normal people that I'm training as well as working, and I'm doing the things I love, like my passions as well, and being a normal girl, like going out as well and enjoying life, and hopefully that's what I like for it to come across in social media. But I found
you showed a good balance of reality, like, you know, that kind of way, because that, again, that's the freaky thing. People look, well, that's utterly unattainable, like, because Jesus Christ, this person must live in a hyperbolic chamber, come out, inject themselves with steroids and get back in, you know, so it's, you can't wrap your head around it, but that's why, the likes of your social media it shows a fine balance. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, fine,
that's what it's all about, like, because I would like to say, you know, social media is just the highlights. Everyone is going to show you the highlights of their day or their week. You're not going to show the people your lows or when you're down feeling,
exactly. Hence why they're called highlights.
That's exactly it. And I think, you know, that's where mental health comes in, a big part of it as well. And again, I like to be part of the Tackle Your Feelings campaigns with the rugby players to show, you know, there is times that I wouldn't be 100% happy all the time. I may look like that a lot of the time when I'm on social media, but, you know, that's not the case. You know,
you couldn't be normal.
No, that's what I mean. You're not normal, or you wouldn't be stressed and things like, or I'm trying to juggle everything. And then there's days where, and a full day, like I say on a Sunday, I'd just be sitting by myself, watching my Netflix, taking everything and having a break. But that's normal, like. Some of the like I said, some of them just I can't get my head around it. But when it is at least some way normal, you go, okay, that's. So you are fond of a biscuit every so often then? Oh, 100%, yeah. A biscuit, a burger, like. No, I'm totally normal, and there's things that I love to do cooking as well, and I mean the classics like your burgers and your chicken dippers and your pizzas. Yeah, like I love all that, but I mean you can make your own nice healthy versions of it. That's
you can,
good. And again, I like try to put up my recipes and give people ideas of what you know, what you can cook instead of the alternative of having those takeaways and those bad foods.
I'm going to have to. I'm quite. I have a freakish problem when it comes to smoking and barbecue.
Okay.
You're like, it's one of the few things I can spend 12 hours doing and not have a problem.
Cooking barbecue chicken.
Oh, just smoking something over like a 12-hour period or whatever, and it's become an obsession now. We've just moved into a house. It has a bit in the countryside, just outside of South Dublin. So it's like now I've no neighbours to complain.
Yeah.
Because it's old Smoky Tom over the thing. But like that, I found it doesn't, if you are kind of preparing, especially foods and stuff like that, from scratch, once there's less shite in it, it tends to be better gear, doesn't it? Like, you know what I mean? You can kind of eat, you can eat to the point of, okay, comfortably full or whatever. Yeah. But it's not like eating the horror show, which are okay from time to time.
Every now and then, I think you have to allow yourself to have a takeaway. Yeah. Every now and then, because your body, that's what your body needs, and your body tells you what you need.
Yeah, we need a chill out here.
Yeah, totally. Like, but that's something, you know, I would love for the future is to be able to create a recipe book.
Oh yeah.
So I know everybody does it. Everyone's like, oh, someone else is showing how to make overnight oats. But I mean,
if you have a different take,
for me, I would love to be able to just keep doing what I'm doing and building up the brand, building up my business, things like that. So then one day, hopefully, you never know, that I might get a book out there. Like, that would be a dream for me. Like, you know.
Well, if you have a different take on it, and if you've that kind of that following, then why not? Yeah, absolutely. I won't keep you a minute longer. I know you're up for time. Where can everybody find you anyway? Just so I know, obviously it's on Instagram. I'll put all these in the whatchamacallit, but just so people can hear it in their earlobes.
So at the moment, we're actually running health and fitness retreats.
Brilliant.
I have a brand new one that's on the 8th to the 10th of June, which is soon in the next few weeks. But you can find all the information. It's called thesweat.ie.
The Sweat.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's going to be with myself and an amazing yoga instructor, Lee Tracy. She's very well known in Dublin. She's absolutely brilliant. So we're collaborating and
where's that going to be then? Where are you going to have the retreat?
We're having the retreat in Blessington in Wicklow.
Yeah.
In the Avon Lakeside Resort.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be a fantastic retreat. That's
it's a lovely part of the world too. Yeah, you can be chilled now.
Yeah, it'll be lovely and chilled. Like, she'll be really focusing on like the meditation, yoga side of things. We'll be going for hikes, doing HIIT classes, fitness activities, and really trying to bring everyone back to themselves to relax, unwind, unplug for the weekend. So I'm really pushing for retreats this summer.
It's a great
so keep an eye out for that. Yeah. And then also you can find me on the Instagram meganwilliams.ie and on Twitter also as well. I have all my information, and moveenergizeglow.com.
Yes,
I love it. Is where you can find my next events coming up in the summer.
Brilliant stuff. Well, we'll have to have a longer one when we have more time or whatever. Just maybe a month. Oh, and the motorbike signifies the end of the podcast. It's a hard
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Megan. That was brilliant.
Thank you. Perfect.